Walls for protection. Turn off the tap. Don't open any gates. You know what happens with that. Stay solid and smiling. Stay hard with the facts. Unlocking sensitivities is bleeding your sap. Don't lose it. Don't cry. Don't shake from the pain. Don't focus on the bad. Forget their name. Don't go back to the past. Don't look behind. Move forward forever, like it's a straight line. Hi loves, welcome to my channel. Today we're talking about resistance. It's a hard topic, I understand. Most of the black background, the black videos that I'm going to be doing are going to be kind of tough love, hard topics about your shadow self. So the green videos are more messages from the heart, the purple are hype you up, and the black are the messages we might not want to hear and see all the time. But they're so necessary for our healing because we want to integrate our darkness and the hard things of life with the good. The dark and the light together makes us whole. Yeah, so what we don't want to do, this poem is called Don't look back. Don't open yourself up. Keep your walls up and stay solid. It's a little bit about toxic positivity and about how we kind of make ourselves go cold to cope with life. But that coldness and that the momentum that we want to keep going in life, to cope, to get past things, I understand. We all have to do that. But if you don't ever have a moment where you go back, or moments where you go back and you really have compassion for what you've been through, and you take a look at the side of yourself that's really in pain and that's sad or angry or resentful, or all of the negative, ugly, evil, whatever things that you would rather never know or accept or see about yourself, if you don't acknowledge that, you're going to be separated from your wholeness and your whole power. Yeah. So today I just want to talk about what you've been resisting and how you can kind of open yourself and your heart up to feel more and to heal that, because we have to feel it to heal it, right? So come with me on the journey. I will try to give this tough love message with as much compassion and sensitivity as I can, of course. But yeah, let's see what we can, what tension we can ease, and what parts of our shadow selves we can integrate, and hopefully some weight we can take off of your gut and heart and shoulders, so that more light can come in. And yeah, okay? All right. So I'm Kellen Love. I am on Instagram at Kellen_Love. I have a paint channel, Kellen_paint, and the tarot, Kellen_tarot. And yeah, I'm so excited that you're here with me in this time and space. I am going to set a blessing, do a little prayer, and then we will just get into it, okay? So how this works is that after my prayer, I will show you 3 stones, and you will pick a crystal, and then I'll put the timestamps down below. You'll pick your time, and those are the messages for you, okay? All right. Dear Heavenly Father and Mother, dear Mother Gaia, dear the gods and goddesses that are about love and wisdom and peace and helping us integrate the light and darkness together. My fairies, my angels, my guides, my loved ones, the wise ones, the ascended masters, my aliens, all of the beautiful creatures and energies and entities that are about love and my highest good and my viewers' highest good. I welcome you into this reading. I ask for blessings for my words, for my cards, for my viewers, for their lives and the lives around them. I pray that all of the elements be with us today. Just thank you so much for being here, being with my viewers in this time and space. And yeah, thank you. In the name of love, amen. Ashe, so mote be, let's go. All right? So yeah, once again, most of the time what we're resisting is what we don't want to feel. And I understand because it's painful, but what you need to know is that you are strong enough to get through it, to feel it, to heal it, and to have change and different energies in your life. All right? Okay. So the crystals today that you're picking from is this amethyst crystal. Very dark amethyst. Beautiful. It's looking more blue to me on camera, but trust me, it is a deep, deep purple. Okay. Then I think it's black tourmaline, but it could definitely be obsidian. But then we have this one, my tourmaline / obsidian. Okay. And then we have this piece of Lapis Lazuli. All right. Okay, so amethyst, tourmaline, or lapis lazuli. These are 1, 2, and 3. These are your piles to choose from. I'll put the timestamps below, and we will go ahead and get started, all right? Okay, so pile number 1. If you chose this beautiful dark amethyst, this is your reading. So for you, amethyst pile, I have what you're resisting is your, quote, dirty side, your ugly side. And I think that has to do with something that you were before and something in your past or something in your home that, like where you came from, that maybe you don't want to accept, because resistance is something we don't want to accept, right? So it could be something like you've changed so much, you've grown, you've glowed up, you're so beautiful and abundant and successful now. And even if that's not just finances, it's just who you are as a person. You've built up a lot of value for yourself from where you've come from. But something about something about your past, or something about maybe like your hometown or the home you grew up in. Like you might be embarrassed of your home, like when you go home, or of your parents, or maybe some values or something that your parents had, like maybe if they're super religious, or something like you just don't like looking back of where you started. And something about this like dirty side, and I want to say it almost has to do with poverty, like something about maybe what you've done when you were poor, or what you had to do to survive, or something like that. Something about something dirty or like unappealing about yourself that you don't want to admit that you had to do when you were just getting your start, or when you were young, or something like that. Something resistance about a part of your foundation, which, we want to just accept all of that, because the improvement is the beautiful part of that. And if you were just starting off, kind of where you are now, it wouldn't be as impressive. But what's so impressive is how you've changed. Change and the dirty and the wrong and those survival thing part of our story, that's what we actually relate to people with. We relate in failure, not in perfection. So you are completely perfect and beautiful and strong and all of these things, but you are like that because of where you started and how determined you were to change and things like that. So you don't want to deny, of course, where you came from, or certain just maybe ways of doing things that your parents or your school or certain things, how it was done before. You might not agree with it, but we don't want to be like resisting it, right? And then something about your progress, and I think that's part of it, is like resisting, yeah, like the improvement, again, is what I'm talking about, is so like impressive. But if you want to like not admit that that was there, then you're not admitting how far you've come along. You're not accepting how much you've progressed. So the message I also am getting from the universe is that you may be kind of resisting taking the time to gather your thoughts and energy and concentrating on your well-being. Very like specific, but that obviously sounds like meditation to me, and that is always something we need to do. That's always the message, right? Self-love, meditation, stuff like that is usually always the message when it comes to tarot and the divine and stuff, right? But yeah, just making sure that you're not resisting that the time it takes, or like you really want to gather your energy back. You might be spread out a little thin, or maybe just, anyway, it's about you taking the time, not resisting. It's kind of a patience thing, right? Of you collecting your energy back, collecting your thoughts, and concentrating on your body and your mind and your gut and all your heart, your mind, your gut, and how it really is doing. And that really is the point of my poem, was all the things that we don't want to focus on, the pain that we don't want to feel, because it is painful, and why would your ego want us to go through those things? But we need to. We need to feel it. We need to know that we're strong enough to feel it, and that we want to be like sensitive enough to understand if there's really parts of our bodies that have been feeling pain and we're kind of just ignoring it. Because light and inspiration really wants to come to you, but it's really you needing to kind of like sit down and gather your thoughts and get quiet so that that light and inspiration can come to you. So it might be like a resistance, thinking that you're like things are dark. Like you may have really accepted that things are dark. What you might need to accept now, what you're resisting, is the light, and how much light and inspiration really wants to come in for you. But you've accepted the darkness so much that you might be kind of resisting the light. Yeah, so rest and realizing the changes that you've made, again, your progress, how far you've come, and that you don't actually have to work hard to deserve rest. You don't have to earn rest. You are work and you are rest, and that is just who you are. But you don't have to do so much just to earn it. When you need rest, you should rest. And sometimes resting and meditating and things like that can be far more productive than you just spinning your wheels. And because like if you are in kind of a darker mentality and you're working from that, you might not be getting as much done as whenever light is flooding in and creating and illuminating all of these solutions for you, where that like you could be working smarter, not harder, where maybe if you could sit and rest, you might have ideas where other people could help you, or other solutions, come up or something where you don't have to work. You don't have to put in all that energy, but you would never know unless you sit still and let those ideas and solutions and people and different things come to your mind, because you're just go, 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 or you're negative or something like that. So what I see resistance for is joy, is the progress, to knowing how far you've come, for being happy, for being available for the light to come in, and just know that you are a channel for the light to come in, and things do not have to be dark. It's so good that you have accepted that part, but yeah, you have come so long, such a far way, and there's so much that wants to come to you. We just want to be open for that, right? So the last few things that I wrote for the resistance is an authentic truth. And I think that has to do with that dirty side thing, that there's something about authenticity and the truth of who you are and where you've come from. And, just sometimes we're like more goofy or silly, or we fuck up, or we're more just strange than we want to admit. And that part of yourself really wants some attention, just to know that you aren't a machine, or you're not, even though you have created and progressed so much, you're not just what you've created. Your soul and everything is a little bit bigger than that. So yeah, just accepting more of your authenticity, your truth. You might be resisting some expression, and that might be within just expressing your truth, like literally with your vocal cords, like speaking it and speaking what you want, or your dreams. What I'm getting more is about expressing what your dreams are and being a little less practical and a little bit more magical, and expressing that part of yourself, like your inner child, your daydreamer, your part of your imagination that just kind of wants to run a little bit more wild. In general, I think that you could use a little bit more wildness in your life, to see more of your authenticity and to express yourself more. But yeah, expression and authenticity really wants your acceptance and openness. And then you might be resisting support. And that might be support from divinity, or it could be support from your friends, maybe your family. But I'm really getting support from your friends and spirit. So, and it's, you might need to ask for help, or you might just need to accept what's already there and what already wants to give you love and comfort. But you're just kind of shutting the door on it a little bit. Okay? So, it really just resisting the joy that wants to come in, the light that wants to come in, the support, the truth, the self-expression, the fun that really wants to come in for you. And my advice, the last advice that I wrote down, is to say yes, okay? Say yes to more about things that are kind of strange and weird and playful, and the light things in life. It might not be as practical, but you definitely are just as productive as the soul when it comes to evolving and being your full powered, beautiful self, right? Okay. So, also, last thing is it's really tapping into the heart. And I don't know if you know what that feels like, to really put your consciousness in your chest and really kind of feel the center of your body, but sitting still and trying to concentrate there, and what that feels like, and what does the heart represent. Tapping into the heart, what does that mean? It means, putting the consciousness here and really tapping into what things feel like, not what things think like. But heart messages from divinity really want to come through, and heart messages from yourself really want to come through and tell you solutions and ideas and things like that. But it just needs your openness. Okay? All right. So, what does this first pile 1, this amethyst group, what are you resisting? What are you resisting? Okay. So you are a queen, and Or you could be resisting a queen that wants to come into your life, but either way, then that's what it is. Either if the queen is you or the queen is somebody else, there is royal love and yes, this divine intuitive energy that wants to come through. And I see that it might be like you might be like kind of working so hard, or yeah, maybe just not focused on the light as much, but a queen energy really wants to come in, which is a little bit more I don't say reserved, it's a little bit more restful. Like the queen does have the most productive ideas and brainstorming, whatever, for when she is thinking into her intuition, not by do, go, go, go. She is one that is tapped into the moon and her emotions and the darker side, but is also, reflecting the light and, yeah, we're just creative and, yeah, okay. So creativity and intuition really wants to come in, and it needs your acceptance. Okay, so yeah, I see a lot of emotion you're resisting. A lot of maybe sadness, which is hard, maybe grief, maybe you have like some confusion and kind of tension within you that you're not really sure about. So you kind of just are moving on from that, which I get, that's what we need to do. But there's an integration for yourself that really wants to happen. And I get that that's because if new love wants to come in, whether you're in a relationship or not, the energy of new love wants to come in, but it can't until you're more whole. And you're not going to be more whole until you really tap in to this really big ocean of sensitivity and like maybe you really just need to cry. And I don't know how you can kind of trigger that for yourself when we have been blocking it out so much. It's hard to really make yourself cry, but really opening yourself up to people and their stories could really help. But also maybe just explaining your story to people and kind of untangling what's happened in your past and things like that might, yeah, really open up your heart a little bit. And let the floodgates, let the floodgates run wild. Oof, oof. And the cards are resistant. And the cards are resistant. I do see that you're really setting up a legacy for yourself. Yeah, but maybe there's just confusion or something that just kind of needs your attention to tap into with your body and your mind. And it really has to do with emotions. You really might need some emotional support from your friends right now. Okay, what are you resisting? Pile 1, what is this group resisting? Oh, a resolve, wow, okay. So, wow, these cards are very similar, like in energies, these fiery, like light, flying force. I mean, you got the Phoenix card, come on. And the Sun card. But the Sun was in reverse. Okay, so there's an illumination, and the Queen, like, look at the moon shine, but it kind of looks like a sun, it's like shining. Okay. A lot of lights. Again, isn't that what we were talking about? Yes, okay. A lot of lights and inspiration and healing. A lot of, a lot of joy just really wants to come in for you. But I think you're going to need to either cry it out, like, I'm serious, like, find a way. And if you need to drink or smoke or have a girls' night or Get a friend that really has gone through way more shit than you have and really talk to them and get compassionate. But find a way at some point to make time, because you need this, to really cry some shit out. You got the ocean and the tear, okay? So there's a lot that you have been bottling up or storing up and holding that might be making your body actually hurt. That and you might have knots in your back or your shoulders or some parts of your body that really need to be untangled, and that's by crying it out. But after you get that sadness out, after you release that ocean and those floodgates, so much phoenixing and light and fire and joy and life force can come through then. But it's blocked right now, and it's very dark and very solid. So we want to loosen it up and let it flow and get emotional, so that that light and fire can really come through. And it might take a lot of rest and tears. But that's almost an easy fix. As hard and ridiculous as it sounds, you being able to just sit, rest, feel yourself, accept support, cry it out. You know, it's vulnerability, I get it. But at least you know that tapping into that sadness is going to release it. And if you've been stuck in confusion, and that might be a hard thing to hear, is that you need to sit here and bawl your eyes out or something, but at least you know. Okay. Yeah, I'm really getting rest and rejuvenation. Rest might really help you relax into being able to get into an emotional state. And then after you're in emotional state, you're going to need rest too. And it's hard, you know, you might think that, oh, I don't have the time for that. Trust me, you know, it's well beyond worth it when it comes to your entire soul and body and mind and mental health and everything. I really suggest making the time like it was a bill. Or like that it's a bill that needs to be paid and it's due by the end of the month. Okay? All right, what are you resisting? And actually, I'm going to keep that deck for the end because she is sassy and straight to the point, so I'm going to keep her to the end. That's the Fairy Godmother deck. We're going to get into these goddesses. Okay, yes, we're getting less resistance. Yes, the cards. Okay, what are you resisting? What is this pile resisting? Part of your identity. And this queen, okay, I'm just saying, like, the queen and then Mary Magdalene. And Mary Magdalene is in a position of kind of surrender and looking up at the sun. And she does kind of look a little sad, and she's just kind of feeling, her eyes are closed and she's kind of relaxed. And that, I mean, with the sun card, I mean, like, what? Okay. So much joy, so much light wants to come in for you, but it definitely is going to take some relaxation and you accepting that part of your identity. Again, something that you like maybe didn't want to see about yourself, about your past, maybe about your foundation, about where you came from, something about your culture that you might be a little embarrassed of or something like that. But yeah, something where you're not kind of fully accepting parts of yourself and that you might be, yeah, like embarrassed of, or you might be like, oh, that part of myself is an inconvenience, or that part of myself is not as productive or whatever. But yeah, relaxing into nature and relaxing more into that mother queen-like energy of intuition and creativity and relaxed nature goodness. Okay, what are you resisting? What are you resisting? Yeah, so you have a free spirit part of you. And that might be like, so it might be like your chaos self or your wild chaos, free spirit, hippie yourself that you might not seem as see as very convenient for you to have. But that free spirit cannot be trapped, right? It really wants to be a little bit tapped into. Okay. Last cards. What is this group resisting? What are you resisting? What is this Amethyst group resisting? Fairy Godmother, what is this group resisting? What do they need to know about? Oh, resisting divine love. Okay, I can't say it more simple than that. Heart messages, light. That's what I wrote wants to come through. When I ask, what are you resisting? And it's divine love. Come on. You got the sun. You got illumination. You got the Phoenix card. And then in the bottom of the deck, you have romance. And again, that's kind of what I was talking about, that you integrating yourself, because if new love wants to come in, you know, you got to know what that looks like. You got to know what that feels like. You need to know how to receive it a little bit. So receiving divine love from yourself so that even more can come from other people. But yeah, you're just resisting that love and light, sweetheart. I love you so much, and hopefully you can accept my love a little bit more. But I can tell you're a boss, or you're doing it, and that you've kind of either got your shit together or you've just built a lot for yourself. Your energy is almost kind of tough love in general. So having more of a sweeter love, a more sensitive, subtle, relaxed love come into your life would really do you good. All right? I love you so much, and I know you can do this. You just got to have a really good cry and a realization that you deserve all of this rest and rejuvenation and healing and love and light and romance and sweetness and all that good stuff, okay? I love you so much. I'm so thankful for you being here in this time and space. I love you. Put a purple heart below if you liked it. Tell me how you felt about the reading. And yeah, hopefully I will see you on the next one, okay? Mwah. All right. I'm going to move on. I love you. Okay, if you pick this black tourmaline pile or crystal, this is your pile. A black tourmaline, obsidian, you know. Okay. What I see that you are resisting is some positivity, particularly about your new reality. Okay, you're resisting a new reality for yourself, and this reality is about wonderful things. It's about, in general, having your wonder be more a part of your life, and of you having more positive what ifs in your life. And trust me, I know I am definitely very good at the what ifs negatively. What if this happens? What if this bad thing happens? Whatever. But what wants to come in for you is a new life where you're saying, what if positive? What if I won? What if I woke up happy every day? What if I woke up feeling like I had energy? What if I was getting stronger every day? What if I was making money on my passions? What if my friends and I had, the most amazing bond ever? Or what if my whatever? What if I started making money? What if I on this? Or what if my family, stopped fighting? Or what if I healed this part of my body? What if I got something in my business or my health or whatever? Just what if positive? What if miracle happened? What if anything? Just getting more into that creative space, because once you start, then it's so much easier to keep going, right? But just even thinking a positive thought sometimes can feel so hard sometimes. But you are out of that space of where you're of survival mode. You don't need to worry like that. And if anything, that energy really is craving to be put for good things and for positive things, and having your mind race and spiral with kind of like dreams and good things. Okay, so what you might be resisting is your gifts, your talents, and you acknowledging those gifts and talents. You're kind of resisting giving yourself credit for your talents and your skills. You might be resisting feeling safe and protected, even though you are, but what you've been through, you might be having a lot of trouble accepting this idea that you really are safe and that you really are protected. You might be resisting this feeling of being worthy, and what you deserve. And, we just get so used to the negativity, and we feel like it's protecting us to worry and to think about the bad or whatever. Sometimes we think that it's productive and that it's really doing something or whatever, but it's not. And you are safe. Your soul is always safe. Your guides, your angels, the universe, you yourself has got yourself. You can believe in your own strength, believe in your own protection, believe in your own magic and power and influence. And for real, you've got talents and gifts that really are crazy valuable. And it's just you believing that and seeing that. And I understand that sometimes it really takes maybe some other people or an outside world, or people maybe paying for those skills or whatever for you to really see the value. But I have an idea that maybe people have kind of complimented you or paid you or for certain things, and you still might not be seeing the value of it. So really just acknowledging and giving yourself credit, and not feeling like you don't have to be like humble or modest about things that are just kind of matter of fact. Like, you can do these certain things, so just say it. Just say you can do it, and see how the universe and people respond back to that. And then, yeah, you really are safe. You really are protected. You might be kind of resisting some self-awareness. I mean, that's what all of this is about, right? It's not like we're like usually very conscious of what we're resisting, or we don't know the effects of what resisting does. So when we're not as conscious or aware, it's a lot easier to just not. But yeah, you have a lot of self-worth that you're not maybe seeing, or you're kind of resisting. Obviously not on purpose or whatever, but just how life goes, I get it. But yeah, there's a lot of self-worth and a lot of connection with yourself and with others that I see you might be kind of resisting. And so, obviously others' connections is a reflection of the connection that we have with ourselves. So yeah, just being more open to you getting to know yourself more, and to give yourself more credit, and to just seeing yourself in a more like objective, beautiful way. So I don't know if you can maybe journal or look back about how far you've come or something, to just kind of give yourself a more an outside view of who you are, to get a little bit more objective view about how just amazing and worthy and valuable and high quality you are, because you just kind of might be resisting or not seeing that. So yeah, connection though, I'm really seeing that there might be a lot of people in your life that you might be kind of, I don't want to say self-sabotaging, but maybe. But there might be connections or more soulful interactions you might be resisting, maybe because it maybe feels a little awkward, or it's this kind of scary situation, or you haven't been there before, or some kind of like an event or a get together or something, like, I don't know, even if it's just like a yoga class or something, but where you might be kind of resisting getting more into that soulful healing and that soulful community. But it's ready for you. The community is ready for you. More connections and soulful interactions are ready for you, if you can relieve the tension and be more open to it. And then the last thing I have is call for help. You might be resisting calling for help. In resisting or like not accepting that you need help. Obviously, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, it's actually showing your strength and your intelligence by you knowing. Like, sometimes the smartest thing we can say is, I don't know, rather than trying to make up some roundabout thing or whatever. Just being like, I don't know, is actually very intelligent. And that's kind of the energy I'm getting, is like, you just stating where you are is really strong and honorable, and just very, very respectable for you to just say, this is where I'm at, I don't know the next step, and I need help, period. And that conversation you might be resisting, but just know that it's easier than you think, and it actually is going to show it. You might think that it's showing what you don't know, and like maybe showing that you're not as smart or whatever, but it's actually doing the opposite, because people are like, I can trust you more because you say when you don't know, and then we can figure it out together. And improvement, and that kind of questioning and honesty is more important than just having all the answers. Okay, so positivity wants to come into your life. Your worthiness wants to come into your life. You using your gifts and talents and knowing how just bad you are. I'm saying bad in a good way. Just how much of a baddie you are with these skills and talents wants to come through. And then help wants to come in for you. Okay? More connections, more soulful interactions. Please don't resist the love that wants to come in. Just there might be some weird people or whatever that you might be like, I wouldn't normally go with them. Or there might be people that like have the same interests with you, and you might be kind of shy or whatever to get into that, or something where it's like, like a tension that you're creating, or maybe projecting some certain things so that you're not really connecting with these people. But just know that those projections aren't real. If they're interested in the things that you're interested in, and they're in the communities that you want to be interested in, then you guys are aligning, and you shouldn't feel like an imposter or something like that, because that really is you. Okay, so what is this group resisting? Reaching for help. Again, asking for help. And divinity, spirituality, connection. Definitely the soulful interactions and connections could be with yourself, could be with others, and for sure it could be with you resisting connection to spirit. Okay? There is a vision for your life that has to do with your creativity and your wisdom, and this way deeper journey and this deeper fire within you, and a bigger legacy that's more soulful that you might be resisting. You might be kind of like, oh, my vision is very practical, or just kind of focused on like, oh, I want to get to this place, or I want to get this house, or blah, 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 but not the bigger, grander vision of really who you are and why you're here on this earth. Yeah. What are you resisting? Yeah, again, being a channel to divinity. Hold on. It is stuck and I have okay, nope, not getting that card. I can't pick it up off the floor. Yeah, so reaching out for help, the vision of something grander and larger and more soulful in your life. Yeah. Definitely spirituality. Definitely something with your sacredness and a larger vision for your life, a higher power in your life. Like, I don't know if you have guides or that you pray to any kind of anything. You know, I'm always kind of adding what I'm praying to, because it's an energy I'm calling forth. I truly believe the names that we use to define everything is just something to activate a power and an energy. So when I talk about the divine mother of the universe, it might help me to envision an actual woman that's like cosmic, or, you know, has like a pregnant cosmic belly or something like that. But it's not that I actually believe in this specific fleshy person. It's that I believe in the energy of who my guides and the energies around that are, if that makes sense. And that's really what I believe in, is a higher power of love, and a higher power of wisdom and clarity, and a more advanced consciousness than my own. And I like to tap into that and channel that. So you might need to find your own sacredness and your own divinity that you believe in, that's higher than you, bigger than you, and something that you value more than anything on this earth, you know? And for me, that's love. For me, that love is the highest power. Love is basically light. It's life. But it goes beyond that, because love is also the darkness, and it's everything. And I believe that love is what is expanding the universe, and that the Big Bang basically was the universe asking itself, out of love, who am I? And then poof, it exploded to figure that out. And so now we're on this journey to get back into that singularity, and to explode again, to get back into the singularity and explode again, to just learn more about ourselves as a universe, because we love ourselves. Yeah, the universe does. But just kind of getting your own story straight and what you believe, and getting that own higher power, and just sacredness into your life. All right, what are you resisting? Emotions, emotions, emotions. What are you resisting? This has been the theme a little bit. What are you resisting? Okay, so you might not let yourself indulge into being very emotional with other people. You might really shut it off. You might think that when you are with other people and it gets like too joyful or happy or whatever, that you would need to like get back to work, or like you don't deserve it. It's again back to that worthiness thing of like when things are too happy or too joyful, like let's say at a party, you might like leave early because you kind of start to feel awkward or whatever. And instead of just letting yourself like go into a deeper level in the party or something with other people and getting into that like next level of kind of connection and conversation and stuff, you might be like, whoa, that's too much. I'm going to stop. I'm going to go. And just like not let yourself tap in. You also might just be kind of judging yourself too hard in the conversation and with your emotions, like being overly analytical of what you've been through. But yeah, just judgment and misery, and you not letting yourself indulge in emotional connection is what's creating this resistance from you to getting deeper connections and soulful interactions, and a partnership and different things like that. So if you really do want those things, then you'll need to know that sharing joy and laughter and emotions with other people is, people want that from you. They want you to share. They want you to be a part of the circle, and they want you to spend that quality time with them. And just know that you don't need to judge yourself for what you say or how you sound or the weird, things that emotions can do to us or whatever. And that even if you are really miserable and you don't want to put that on other people, and that's why you're leaving, or that's why you're judgmental about yourself, is because you're like, I don't want them to see my sadness. I don't want them to see my misery about how miserable I just am. No, like they need to see that a little bit. For one, the conversation might be very therapeutic for other people too that are dealing with a lot of misery and hiding that misery, and they need to open up about it. But also, just knowing that you will get the right response and you will, you'll be releasing that misery. If you can kind of share it and shed some light to it, which means letting people see you and being vulnerable and stuff, then yeah, you will be releasing that tension for more joy to come in. But it's okay to let people see you be miserable. It's okay for people to see that, the sadness, and that you might not be totally there or whatever. And just knowing how to communicate a little bit better makes that all okay. If you're like, look, the world is hard. I've been going through shit. I don't want to smile right now. I'm sorry to be a Debbie but Downer. I'm here for it, but it doesn't mean I'm all happy here. you know. But if you're like super real with it, people, I think, respect realness more than happiness, And if you're just really straightforward and the truth and real, the right people will always be like, respect that over than you just needing to be joyful all the time. I know I'd rather hang out with real people than people that are fake and happy. But yeah, anyway, just letting yourself really share, especially with like 2 other people, just kind of getting in a group or a partner, one person, but really just don't be resistant to sharing a little bit more about you and your emotions and your sadness. Excuse me. But yeah, it is a little scary sometimes. It is a fear to get over, to share, and to let people see us like that. All right, what are you resisting? Negotiation. What are you resisting? So kind of, I'm getting kind of like a compromise. The card is negotiation, but like, again, that kind of, it just reminds me back of the conversations with other people, and kind of just releasing that judgment and kind of compromising with yourself. Like, no, you don't have to go all the way and cry or whatever, but you need to share a little bit. And just kind of compromising with yourself when you want to leave or you want to get out of that situation and not open up or something, just kind of coming to a compromise with yourself or negotiating with yourself, like, okay, no, maybe we can't open up completely right now, but maybe we can just share a little bit about what's going on. Or maybe we can stay a little bit longer. Just kind of understanding that it's not like you have to completely flip the switch and be 100% better or whatever, but just learning how to do a little bit more, be there a little bit more, show up for yourself a little bit more, release, open up, cry a little bit more, or just a little bit more to your friends and letting them see you a little bit more, your family or whatever, but just letting them understand a little bit more, because you might feel like, oh, I'm misunderstood. I'm really misunderstood. Well, are you letting people understand you? Are you giving them the opportunity to understand you? And that starts with you, right? Like, do you understand yourself? I get it. But as you do understand yourself more, then you can communicate with them about who you are and stuff. Okay, and then the other thing you're resisting is compassion. Compassion for yourself. Just having that self-love and understanding that this world is hard, it is rough, it is brutal sometimes, and you being miserable or sad or angry or whatever the case is, detached or something, it's understandable. But now it's the time for connection. Now it's time for you to know your value and for you to know your self-love and for you to just kind of introduce other people and yourself to these darker parts of yourself. Okay. Last card. What are you resisting? What are you resisting? Partnership came up earlier, and then now this is companionship. There might be something in your life, somebody in your life that you are resisting opening up to and getting a quality connection with, because you can't receive that love. but I see that this person is a wish come true when it comes to your emotions and your soul and what your soul wants, the connections. This is a person that can really give you a lot of heart healing, and you resisting that isn't helping anybody. But our ego will fight for us to not feel the pain and tap into that and share our vulnerabilities and our weakness or whatever. But so much strength, so much love, so much peace comes when you can open up and share with people. All right, so share your emotions. Please try to not be so judgmental on yourself, especially when it comes to your emotions and what you've been through. And if you are sad or angry or your negative emotions, shaming that or judging that obviously isn't helping. So having compassion for yourself, opening up to companionship, and then really opening up to divinity and a higher power and understanding really what you do believe, what comes intuitive to you when you think of divinity and sacredness and the bigger vision for your life of why your soul is here. Okay? I love you so much. Please understand that so much positivity and love wants to come to you, and you're so gifted, so talented. Yeah. Ask for help, please, from divinity, from others, from a companion, All right. I love you so much. Thank you for being in my time and space with me. I appreciate you. Put a black heart below if you pick this pile. And yeah, hopefully I'll see you again soon. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. I love you. Mwah. All right, moving on. All right, if you chose this Lapis Lazuli pile, this is your reading. What I wrote for you is what you are resisting is the new, some clarity. And I want to say the hunger for the new. Like there's like a hunger, like a drive for the new that you might be like kind of resisting. That you're like, shh, no, no, we're fine here, we're fine. But you're not. Your soul is not fine. It really wants newness and it is thirsty for it. So what you might be resisting is the next step. Okay? And what that has to do with is you letting go of past challenges, which I totally understand. But these challenges are over. The ones that you have been dealing with, the challenges in general that you've been dealing with are done. And your new reality, your new, the newness, the next step doesn't have those challenges. Yes, there may be new ones, different ones, but they're not the old ones, and you're so much more equipped. And your soul really wants you to accept and embrace that it is craving something new. Okay, the big thing that I see for you on what you may be resisting is forgiveness. It could be forgiving others, for sure. There could be other things that you need to forgive other people for. But usually even that is a reflection of the forgiveness for ourselves. And that's usually my message is, the inward journey. Forgiving yourself for what you've been through, for how you survived, for how you reacted, for just any of the situations that you were in, for the challenges, for the mistakes, for all of that. Forgiving yourself kind of unconditionally. And obviously that is a huge kind of journey or whatever in itself sometimes, but things can't be different, right? You can't change the past. And just at least on that, to just rest assured in that, like, oh, well, you can't change it. You can't go back. You can't change it. And just to know that you did your best for the information, for the energy that you had at the time, for what you had, for where you were at, for what you knew, for how it felt at the time. That's what you could do. And that's okay. You did your best. So what I see of what you're resisting is letting go of the thoughts that you were wrong, and or that you're blocked still because of that, because of what you did wrong. You didn't do anything wrong. I don't know how to get this message into my head completely either, but just to know that even all of our mistakes are right because we are human, we're here to learn, our soul is here to learn, and we wouldn't progress, improve, or anything if it weren't for what we've been through and how we reacted and the choices we made and stuff. That's our karma, our lessons, our our strength, our building blocks. I pretty much said this in every pile. We relate in failure, not in perfection. And how we relate to others is how we have compassion for others and how we connect to others and stuff. So it's all part of your story. And just forgiving yourself it does require some work. Sometimes you do have to write it out or talk to people or go to therapy or whatever. But you deserve that forgiveness. And if you want to forgive others, you got to start with yourself. But yeah, you are doing great. And right where you are is where you're supposed to be. The lessons, the place, the journey is, you're not wrong. What you did wasn't wrong, and you're not in the wrong place. You did right. You're in the right place, and yeah, that's it. It might not feel like where you want it to be or whatever, but then that might be that you're kind of resisting your reality and what you have. So then it might be like a spirit of thankfulness that you might need. But yeah, you're exactly where you're supposed to be, and you making the most of this moment of where you are is all that's needed. And just kind of, letting go of the shame that you have, which I know all of this is so much easier said than done. Or you could poof and just think of a new reality. You definitely could, and we definitely all have that ability to change our belief systems. But belief is a muscle, and it does need to be worked out. And I see for you, it really starts with you understanding that you're right. You're in the right place, and that love and abundance are here for you. They're here and now for you. You want to know why? Because you are love and abundance. It's not some fickle thing that comes if you make some right decision and that you're worried that if you don't go down this path or make this wrong choice or whatever, that you're not going to get it. No, you are that. And in the universe, you put out what you get, what you put out. So you being love and abundance, that is going to come to you whatever way you go. And you are in the right place wherever you go, because that's where your conscious, strong, capable soul decided to be at that moment. And if this is where your soul decided to be, then trust your soul and your higher power that this is where it is good for you to be and for you to learn. And that your divine guides and things, that they also are here supporting you, and they understand, and they know why you're here, and they're here to help you. And they're just here for you. So you being here for yourself and knowing that you've got a team here for you as well. Love and abundance and peace wants to come in for you, but you might be resisting it a little bit. And that is part of just resisting that there's a new next step in your life right now for you. And that next step is integrating and accepting and believing in love, abundance, and peace. Why? Because you are love, you are abundance, you are peace. So you will get that wherever you go. What I see you might be resisting is a divine mother energy, a very nurturing energy. I believe that this space is divine feminine energy. The universe holds space for all of the matter and light in it, and it lets everything, it is darkness. The universe is mostly darkness, mostly space, and it holds the light and the matter for it to grow and be anything that it wants to be, and it expand as much as it wants to. And that divine, nurturing, holding space and accepting energy of a mother, it just accepts everything that is, even the bad, the good, or whatever. It accepts all of that. And that kind of energy really wants to bless you and be a part of your life. But you might be kind of resistant to that. And we're taught a lot about God energy, but the goddess energy, the great divine mother energy, is more subtle and nuanced and a little bit deeper. And, the best way you can explain it is to be silent and to just feel it. So yeah, maybe just being silent and meditating and understanding that there's so much force and energy and power around us. Actually, there's so much more going on in the air than there is in our own bodies. There is enough energy in the air right now at all times, this equivalent to 2 supernova stars colliding. That's just what's going on in the air all around us at all times. And we think this air is nothing. There's so much going on with light and energy and all this stuff. So to be able to silence yourself and tap in and being a little bit more sensitive to the subtle energy around you will show you more about how powerful you are, because you'll be tapping into the more of the power of the universe, especially the power of the universe that gets, I don't want to say neglected, but looked over. Or again, like, people think that air is nothing. They only think that matter is something, whereas only 5% of the universe is matter and 95% of the universe is dark energy, but we only really are giving credit to the matter. But there's other things that matter besides matter. Anyway, just tapping into more of what is actually a big force in the universe, because you're actually mostly space. There's more space between the atoms and the molecules or whatever than there are molecules, right? So we can become more empowered by us realizing that we're so much more and we have so much energy within us than the world could ever describe, that words could ever describe, that people give enough credit to, or whatever. Anyway, divine mother energy, whether that's looking up goddesses or just tapping into Mother Gaia, but I'm getting more of like a cosmic mother energy power. Wants to come into you, which is very much more chaotic and mysterious than a god energy or whatever. But yeah, that is super powerful, really, really deep, and yeah, it wants to come in for you. Okay, so then that just goes more into your holiness, your divinity, your sacredness, your magic, your powers. These all want to come in. Your magic wants to come in. Your powers really want to come in. And whether that's with dreams or psychedelics or whatever, of tapping into that, of seeing a healer or getting a tarot deck or something like that. But there's maybe getting some tools to kind of ignite that. But there's a lot of, divinity that wants to come in for you that I see might be resisting. Because, it doesn't make a lot of logical sense. It doesn't always make sense. It doesn't always seem explainable or whatever. So I get that it can kind of be hard to accept these things. But there's a lot of power that's very, very real that we can't see or touch or whatever. But yeah, anyway. Okay. So there's a lot of connection to divinity and a lot of ascension when it comes to your consciousness, which means like illumination, enlightenment, things like that, that really want to bring you to the next level with your consciousness, with your soul. But you might be a little resistant because, you know, the 3D world, it's hard, it's tough, I get it. But yeah. And then, yeah, just more of a mindfulness, more of less resistance to this present moment, because you might be so focused about what's next, or you might be focused on even the past, or whatever, just what has happened so much, and then that's putting a lot of stress on the future. But yeah, just the present moment is really asking for your attention. Okay? So forgiveness, present mindfulness, and divinity, magic, mother nurture, beautiful energy of a power mystery. Yeah, that's going to bring in clarity. This like mysterious, chaotic energy is actually really wants to come in to bring you clarity. All right. What is this Lapis Lazuli pile resisting? Okay. Wow, okay, I was just thinking about how blue the Lapis Lazuli was. I kind of stopped for a second because I was like thinking about the throat chakra and expression and different things that blue represents, clarity, different stuff. And then this blue eye came in. So yeah, a clarity for who you are, and like a deeper love. Like, you know, we're kind of taught the fiery red hot love, but the blue love that's more subtle and calming and cooling is it's just a different type of love, and that kind of is asking for your attention. And for clarity, for more of your soul, it could be that you might need to look into the mirror and look into your eyes a little bit more and really see yourself and see your own power and see your own soul, and kind of look at your soul from a position of like, do I know you? And getting to know yourself a little bit more, and then creating that stability within yourself that has to do with your own power, and just getting to know your soul a little bit more. What is this pile resisting? Wow, okay. The heck? The two blue eyes on the deck? What? Okay. I mean, the main thing that I wrote, the top thing that I wrote was hunger for the new and clarity. When I think of hunger for the new, and we got the animal right here, looking out, newness reminds me of blue, and clarity is like these clear blue eyes. I don't know what other words to really say with that, but your soul is asking for clarity of while you're here, and it's so much more than just humanity. Yeah, it's just so deep, and like you're wanting a new perspective. And when it comes to, I guess, what you're resisting, it might just be seeing clearly, seeing yourself new. All I know is that you really are being called for ascension, for newness, and for the next step. But it's about truth. It's definitely about truth. Seeing the truth of you, seeing the truth of the universe, seeing the truth of your power, seeing the truth of what you're really here for. You're a star. You have clarity. You have divine water, divine powers, divine insight that really wants to come through for you. There's just resistance where it's not able to. What is this group resisting? What is this group resisting? What is this group resisting? Oh, your own strength, your own fertility. Oh, the Nurture Empress card. Nurture. Divine Mother Nurture energy. Here she is. What is this group resisting? And it could be vulnerability with the Strength card. Okay, again with this Empress energy. Okay, so we got courage and strength, and then we've got the two, she's like a pregnant, they're both pregnant, holding their bellies of their earth, fertility. So a very nurturing, mothering, fertile, green energy. Like definitely you might be resisting getting out into nature, but really it's this resisting how expansive and subtle and tapped in that mothering energy is, that divine feminine energy. Whether that's just your feminine side or you are identify with more femininity, it's about tapping into that more wholesome, loving, and connected. You know, just when you look outside and you see the patterns of nature and how everything is just, it's in its own pattern and cycle and cohesive, and it's so clear, and there's so much power and energy that we take for granted in nature, and it's so abundant and mysterious and magical and beyond the animal, the human, and even the God within us. It's beyond all of that. It's like we have consciousness and we have creation, and consciousness, I think, is the more masculine side of the universe, and creation is the feminine, and the feminine is more subconscious, you know, and it's just allowing of everything to be and to run its course and to tap into it is calling you to tap into yourself and your own nature and kind of go within. And it could be that you need to kind of get dark a little bit, but I really just see that like meditative, introspective, reflective energy of, yeah, you seeing yourself new and understanding your powers better. One more card. What are you resisting? You might be working really hard too, which is kind of resisting some of your blocking some of your blessings a little bit. But definitely meditation, right? That's always the message. We don't want to be resisting meditation. I know I do sometimes, a lot of times. Okay. These readings really help me have a bigger purpose for why I should meditate. But sometimes I don't have that bigger reason in mind. So it's harder for me to do it because I'm just like, oh, it's just for me to be healthy a little bit. Like, it's okay, I don't need to. But whenever I think of it like, oh, no, I want to be a clear channel for the people that I'm helping, then I'm like, all right, let me meditate. So sometimes we just need a higher, an understanding of a higher power. Okay, last few cards. What are you resisting? What are you resisting? Okay. Free spirits and omens. Yeah, your divine chaos mother, feminine energy, that free spirit woman energy. And even if you're not a woman, it's about being that free, it's still kind of witchy vibes, but letting your divine chaos run free and seeing what that looks like and understanding that, yeah, the universe is 5% matter, 5% order, the rest is chaos. But it does not mean that it's without its patterns and without its cycles and without its way of being, you know. Just because it's chaos doesn't mean it's bad or it's not working or whatever. It's just, it's not planned. It's not strictly organized or whatever, like on a typical sense. But there is a structure and a stability within that somehow, if you can understand intuition and love and the way that nurture, nature, and consciousness and creation combines. But yeah, it's a very deep, magical, mystical energy that is really calling for you, that most of us, I think, resist in this world. It is tapping into your darker side, to your it's the sorcerer within you, but it's also the inner child within you. Yeah, it's hard to explain because it is so. It's so powerful and magical that there's not quite the right straightforward words for it. Okay, what are you resisting? Last cards for this pile. What are you resisting? Ooh, releasing guilt. Changing your perception. What are you resisting? What are you resisting? What is this pile resisting? What is this Lapis Lazuli pile resisting? Last cards. Kindness. Kindness to yourself, kindness from others. There's kindness that wants to come in to you, for you. That divine mother energy, that nurturing energy from yourself to be your own mother, your soul's own mother, and the mothering energy from the universe, the divine mother that wants to protect and nurture and give you powers and healing and love. It really wants to come in and give that love to you. But we do have to meditate and understand that we have the strength to receive that. The courage that it takes to receive love. Sometimes people don't always talk about. All right, but it is here for you, and I love you, and this is a very deep, mysterious energy, a very nurturing, loving energy. But yeah, just releasing that guilt. Oh, were we talking about for you? Yeah, you're not wrong, and it's releasing that guilt that you're not wrong, and changing your perception that you're in the right place. You've done it right this whole time. There's no shame or there's no wrongness that you need to feel. Like, you're loving, you loved, you're on the right path. Yeah, I love you so much. Thank you for being here, and please, yeah, accept my love. And yeah, I'm on Instagram, whatever, subscribe, like, all that other stuff. But yeah, thank you for being here in my time and space, and I cannot wait for you to come back again. Mwah. Have a good day, and I love you.